we're going to measure angles. So the tool that we use to measure an angle is called a protractor. There are 3 very important steps when we're measuring with a protractor kind. The first thing that you have to do is find the vertex. Remember, the vertex is where the 2 points meet up from each line. So there's my vertex. I'm going to line it up right here in the middle of my protractor. Once I line that up, the second most important step is I need to line up one of my bottom lines of the protractor with the bottom line of my angle. So here's my line that's running right there. I have it lined up so it's perfectly right on it. Now, after I do that, that line that's on the bottom is my 0 line. Now that's very important because there are 2 numbers over here. There's 180 and there's 0. And it's sometimes difficult to remember what we start with. If you just remember that this bottom line is 0 and then you count up from 0, it becomes a lot easier. So always remember your bottom line is pointing to 0. So if I start by 0, I'm going to count up. I'm going to count up by the easiest thing until I get to the number that I want to. And the easiest thing for me is just counting by tens. So I go 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and it's in between the 50 and 60. If I wanted to, I can count by these little lines up here, but to be as close as I possibly can, it looks like it's 55. So I would put this angle is 55 degrees, and I know 55 is less than 90, which makes it an acute angle. So if I use those same steps, the first step, find the vertex and line up the vertex with the middle of my protractor. Second step, always make sure that your bottom line is lined up with one of the other lines. I could do it like this, and that's fine, as long as one of those lines is matched up with the bottom of my protractor. So just one of those lines has to be lined up. So if I keep looking at this, remember this line that's lined up at the bottom is my 0 line. It always points to my 0. And don't get confused because over here was my 0, but now I'm starting over here. So I'm going to count by the 0 on that side. And I'm going to go all the way till I get to where the line meets on the protractor there. So remember, I'm going to start at 0 and I'm going to count up by tens until I get to my line. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and it's about 120 is what it's looking like. And a lot of people will put 60 because they don't start counting from the 0. I can't tell you how important that is. Always start counting from the 0, and 0 is wherever your bottom line is pointing to. So this is 120, and this small little dot just means degrees. Another time you're going to see that is when we talk about temperature, but we also use it when we're talking about measurements of a circle and angles. So it's 120 degrees, it's more than 90 degrees, so we're going to call that an obtuse angle.